A stingray is a mobile device that masquerades as a cell phone tower. It's usually mounted in a police surveillance vehicle. Cell phones are constantly seeking the nearest tower, even when you're not making a call. Your phone could connect to the police stingray when nearby and route data through the stingray just like it would a cell tower. The data is relayed to a connected laptop, which displays and translates it for officers. Data is passed on to a cell tower. The phone's user will not know the difference. Police can get identification and telephone numbers for all cell phones that connect. Numbers dialed by a connected cell phone, including outgoing calls and texts, and the location of a connected phone.
American cities pushing to regulate, spotlight unchecked police surveillance. For years, excess military equipment has trickled down to state and local agencies. For police departments nationwide, this influx doesn't stop with armored vehicles, weapons of war, body armor, and camouflage fatigues. More obscure surveillance technologies, once exclusive to federal entities, are now operating freely in many cities. The most intrusive of these devices collect swaths of data, particularly from cell phones, unbeknownst to the target. These technologies, including cell site simulators, Stingray, operate entirely outside the public sphere. Oftentimes, even courts aren't sure if illegal surveillance technologies were used in an arrest. This extreme secrecy makes their use entirely unaccountable, and unchecked. No one knows who's being targeted, when, or for what purpose. It's an Orwellian state of affairs now provoking legislation be proposed to control rougeise. Pushes to rein in surveillance operations are currently blossoming in several states. In New York State, CityLimits.org reports, council members Vanessa Gibson and Dan Grodnick are spreading the word of new bills across 5 boroughs. Their proposal, dubbed the Public Oversight of Surveillance Technology Act, POSTA, hopes to fully spotlight local surveillance operations. Specifically, the POSTA, if passed, would require police to notify the public upon purchasing surveillance technologies. That's locally, which is a major step. New York is joining a momentum building across the country. No one from citizens, to lawyers, to judges and mayors appear fond of unchecked surveillance. Big Brother, however, does not assume the same guys everywhere you go. On the state level, officials are attempting to crack down on warrantless police surveillance. According to CityLimits.org, state-level initiatives currently take the form of 2 bills bouncing about government halls. These focus on ensuring police first obtain a warrant to target specific devices, or phones. Such admirable ambitions, unfortunately, are complicated by the sheer variety of tech available to police. Cell site simulators, or Stingray, for example, trick your phone into communicating with it by mimicking cell towers. The dummy tower then collects data including GPS, and other sensitive real-time information. Other departments instead go tower dumping, which involves obtaining massive amounts of data from countless devices, then narrowing down the search. How one formalizes a warrant for a specific device when officers perform tower dumps, for example, is unclear. Even Stingray, many experts warn, may collect data other than the targets. Some cities utilize facial and or license plate recognition technologies, or similar devices. With each passing year, surveillance and intelligence gathering tools become more nuanced. Departments also have access to drones, and other devices they rarely publicly acknowledge. Regulating these technologies, and the operations they're drafted for, presents daunting legislative challenges. Transparency is further restricted by the very nature of police surveillance operations. For one, not every officer in a given department is necessarily aware that operations are occurring. In New York, for example, only 1,400 NYPD officers of a 36,000-strong force are involved in surveillance intel ops. Of those, not all are involved in the same ops, or using the same tech. These endeavors are tightly compartmentalized, and departments often treat surveillance devices as deniable assets. Another challenge is determining whether a given department has outsourced some of its capabilities. During the Standing Rock standoff, it was discovered by The Intercept that Morton County's surveillance against protesters was handled by a contractor. Tiger Swan, the company in question, shares ties to the defunct mercenary contractor Blackwater, and other private military forces. The contractor's full operations, however, and how those were conducted largely remain unclear. Similarly, after DAPL, large-scale police surveillance operations elsewhere may, or may not, be outsourced. If that's the case, then how effective could a legislative perspective even be? Nevertheless, open pushes to both acknowledge and regulate surveillance technologies is refreshing to some. Too often it seems, even talk of police surveillance tech is shunned into the corner and labeled conspiracy. It's difficult to find such comments either productive, or accurate. Bringing police surveillance issues to the forefront may prove to be a catalyst for other movements to come.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.